Hello, hello, hello. This is Jolene with the Jewel Design, and we are here Thursday. Late Thursday morning for me. You'll get it the moment it's uploaded. But I have tried for the past 2 days to do a process video with the crafts I wanted to make this week to share with you guys, and I just couldn't get it together. I needed to craft, but the processing of filming it just didn't go well. So I'm just going to show you what I made. Quickly show you guys any bits and pieces of how to go about it. But yeah, no, I couldn't do an actual process video this week to save my life. So we are using the Cozy Winter Kit from my shop. I wanted to get some winter in. I wanted to get something besides full-on Christmas, something besides full-on fall. I threw that last fall journal together, which hopefully you caught over on Lorette's channel on Tuesday. She was showing off all my journals. So both autumn journals are now sold. I still have my Christmas, and I still have my Heroes in Retro. So go check out her video. It was on Tuesday. It was a Etsy share ordeal. It has all 4 of my journals. But yeah, I put together my last autumn journal really quickly and just was going to do a flip through. And my mom was looking at them and she's like, oh my gosh, I love this one. And oh, can I share these? And I'm like, sure, that saves me a day. And thank God, because this hasn't been a great week. So if I try to do it myself, who knows what that video would have been. So there's a flip through on all of those, and it's all gone. And I appreciate everybody who purchased the journals. And like I said, I have 2 more left to go. So then I was watching videos, having fun, trying to get those things done, and saw Crafty Cat Amy was doing the accordion journals again. And we used that accordion journal idea from Amy and Gail last year to make the Heroes in Retro and do the whole Traveler's Notebook accordion type signatures by taking my, horizontal papers and, folding them in the middle to make them narrower, to make it more of a Traveler's Notebook. So Amy was at it again, making another accordion journal last week for her snowman little gift journal. And I thought, okay, well, what can I do with my papers, right? So I wanted to do this little guy as a taller, journal, closer to this size, right? And I realized, though, because she was doing it with the 12 by 12s, she had it down to, ignore the size, but she had it down to 5 inches by 11. Well, this paper is only 8.5 with the white trim and everything else. So there was no way I could do all the folds. I'd have this tiny, I'd be lucky if I could see the owl when we were done. I'm like, well, that doesn't work. So I did trim it. I folded it down. I folded it backwards inside itself. I took it and folded it back just enough to where I had about 4 inches because I didn't want to cut off too much of the other side. I wanted to keep the intact, and so I didn't want to cut into that. So I went back about 4 inches, folded it, glued it, and so you got that right. And you get, the cool part was on the underside, you get just enough of the ordeals. I bet you guys are in way too many shadows. I have a feeling it looks good on my screen, but I'm really worried you guys are in the dark. So give me one moment. See, this is the things. I didn't want the bright light this morning, but I have a feeling I need to have the bright light. Let's try this really quick. Sorry. Hopefully they do not blind anybody. But I hate to go through this whole thing and find out it's pitch black and I can't adjust it. So anyway, so as I was saying, folded it back so that when I glue it, it's automatically double-sided, about 4 inches. And I just then folded it in half, back to back. So I guess inside to inside. Folded it in half, opened it back up, and then just folded it the opposite direction by 1/2 inch both ways so that I could get this flap. Get the flap that we needed. So that I had this cute little journal. Made a cute little journal piece. Now the goal when I was doing this originally was to think if I could, I thought, well, everybody goes more portrait, right? So you open up a standard journal card because your journals are usually can be vertical, and your playing cards and your ATC cards, everything can be sort of more of a portrait stance. And I thought, well, I know this because of the fact I was pulling it from the side, it'd be vertical, or it'd be horizontal maybe, or I was really hoping it was still gonna be longer, and I was gonna flip it up. I'm making a flip book upward, but because of the elements of the fact that I'm missing some length, it ended up being a horizontal, but you are flipping it open to make a cute little notebook. Okay, so I thought, okay, that's all I can do with this one. There's not much else I can do. It's super cute. But I took my pale blue background, and I went ahead and put it back through the printer, so I could have the blue on both sides. And I just cut them down to just like, 3 1/4 by, I think 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, something like that. And just made a cute little notebook. We did the little tiny attacher, glued it on the tab that we had created, and then did a little bit of decoration, so you have a little bit of a decorated header to your notebook. So that was the first attempt. Put, a word and some stuff on the front. The nice thing is, because it is one of the corners to my papers, it's already sort of pre-decorated. I didn't have to add a lot to it and kept it sort of thin. So the first paper, I tried to fold an accordion, which was on a single little flap, ended up being a cute little notebook, which does fit in the envelope that I have in the kit, which with the kit, I just went ahead and stenciled inside it with the oxide for Tim Holtz. I have a hickory smoke that I use for anything blue and snowflakey. And so I had a die cut left over, like the opposite, the outside of it. It was like it was a cardstock sheet, and you popped out the snowflake. And I'd kept it, of course. So I thought, oh, well, it's a great stencil. So I just stenciled on the inside, nice and big, and then added in my ornament as a little tab and a word and a snowflake. So I have an envelope that will fit either one of these deals. Though this is a little thick, so this definitely works better for the notebook and maybe some cute little journal cards to put in here and make it a cute little gift. But it's ready to go when I'm ready. Now, the second attempt, I said, okay, well, maybe my printed papers don't allow for, because they're only 8.5 inches tall, there's not enough room to do the accordion thing on the inside. So I went ahead and took the brighter, darker snowflake paper and said, okay, let's try this again. Let's do this a different way. Let's try to get that 11 inches in height that she was talking about. So you take one of my papers once it's printed. I know that unless you do bleed, which I know apples won't let you, and it depends how the tablets work. You just have to print it as is. So it's fit to print. You're going to get a white border, but that's okay. What I did is I went ahead and folded it, long ways, in half, glued it down, and trimmed off the white off the bottom, which gets you about a 4-inch wide. So when hers was 5, to make it 5 tall for most journal cards, mine's only going to be about 4 wide, and I wanted horizontal anyway. I did not want a vertical accordion journal. I wanted a horizontal one. So I thought this will work just fine. So I glued it down and then went ahead and used her measurements. Now, her measurements worked pretty well. I just don't do very well when it comes to scoring. Again, my drawing straight lines, cutting straight lines, ha. So I don't know if you can see this, but she went ahead, once you had it folded in half, to get your accordion, right, to get all these tabs in here, to make it an accordion journal, I went ahead and scored 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, and 7.5 from your left side. Or right, whatever. I don't think it matters which way you go from it. I went from the left over. So I went the 3.5 inch mark, 4.5, 5, 6.5, 5.5, 6.5, and 7.5. So those are your outside score marks for your last set of folds. Then you flip it over. Okay, then you flip it the other way, and you score it 4, 5, 6, and 7. So those are the inside notches to get your valleys. So you need to score every half inch from 3.5 to 7.5. So 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5. But you need to do the half marks on one side and the whole marks on the other. And that allows you to then, once it's scored, to start folding it up to get the tabs that we need to glue onto. Because then once you glue from the outside and you get all these tabs glued down, as you can tell, I had problems. They're all different sizes. Something went wrong in it. I don't know what happened. But once you glue from the outside in and you glue down all your tabs, then you have these little headers and tabs to glue your cards onto, which is what makes it an accordion journal. And they're great because you take your journal cards, you take your playing cards, you take your ATC cards, or anything you have. That's about the size of your journal. Now, that's why she went a 5 wide by 11, because it would fit most standard size, like larger journal cards like I make. Mine are like 5 by 3 and 7 and 3, 5 and 3/4. 5 and 3 and 3/4. There we go. So, but for this one, I had made these cute little, these newer sizes, right? 3 and 3/4 by 3 1/4. I don't know which way goes which. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, that. So 3 and 3/4 deep by, or wide by 3 1/4 deep. And I wanted to use them, and I realized they were all horizontal. So again, I didn't want something too tall, because they would, if you flipped them around, I had to cut stuff off, but they floated weird. So I was like, well, just turn it on its side and make it a horizontal flip journal. Now, I'm calling it a accordion flip because there is no journal space in here. Mine is just a cute little winter accordion flip lookbook, I guess, or a accordion flip card journal. But there's nowhere to journal it at this time. You could journal front and back. I'm still debating on putting strips to put journals in it, but it'd be like 3 or 4 little journal cards. Like, I don't know if it would be worth adding any more bulk to this just to add a couple cards. Because I do have these little journal cards left over, and I do have 2 of these left over, which, if I trimmed them just a little bit, we trimmed it down closer to the inner border, because of the fact that we have a banner here too. Wait, that has an extra. That's why it's working. If I trimmed it down to the inner border and fluffed it, then I could maybe just slip it into a side pocket along with one of these, and I could put all 5 journal cards in the front and back. So I might do that. We'll see. If I really, really, really want to make this a full-blown journal card accordion, that would be what I would do. So, but here's the fun part. I went ahead and, hold on one sec. Yeah, making sure. It's been one of those weeks. I wanted to sort of hide the fact that the spine was crazy. So I used some blue lace I found from the thrift store. And I used the blue snowy mesh that me and Lorette have been finding at Dollar Tree. We used green for the Christmas stuff. I grabbed blue. There might have been a red one. I love this. I found this meshy tulle gold leaves last year. We found this blue and the green this year, the snowy effect, so I had to grab the blue because of all my kits, and the green was really fun. That was a lot of fun to have as a layer. So I used these 2 items to layer up to make the spine instead of using lace. I had cutouts, of course, for the of these guys, and I don't remember, I have no clue where they came from. I found them in my stash, so I'm assuming I bought them somewhere. It could have been Dollar Tree, Target, could have been Michael's or Hobby Lobby. We did a lot of shopping. I would say last year, but then we had to, shopping before. No, last year we were in Dill. So I guess I don't know where I found these stuff. It's getting hard to figure out when we did things due to COVID. That is so funny. I know I stored a lot of stuff, but I had a lot of things I think I'd been piling up on. And those few moments we'd go out, I must have grabbed stuff. Right. Anyway, so I went ahead and tried to use most of the pieces from my either Snowy Winter Kit or my newest Cozy Winter. But there are a few little pieces that came from a Ciabella winter kit that I bought from the Italy scrapbook designer. So there's a few pieces here and there that just blended really cutely. So I have my winter bucket list here. And this is what the fun part was. I went ahead and took my 4 cards, varied them every other, and I decorated the cards, and I decorated the backs with the scraps. And I made it a flip book because we go this way first, and we have all these cute little decorations, right? So every other one is either decorated with scraps or the card is decorated. And then you can flip it over, see? And you go the other side. So this way, every angle didn't have to be this could have been upright to where when you looked at it, you would see every one, I guess. But I wanted that effect of the whole, when you used to get children's books, it'd be 2 books in one, and the cover would be here, and on the back side, the cover would be upside down. So half the book would be upright, and then the other half of the book would be upside down. And so all you had to do was flip it around, and you could read the other story, right? So that was sort of the same thought. I thought, well, if you flip it over, you have the pages on the other side. And so I just thought it'd be fun, a cute little book to look at that, you know, just had the feeling of yummy and warm and inviting and winter. So every page got either a mild decoration, it was already printed, or fully scrappied up with the pieces. And I had a lot of fun with this. I really wanted to do it. I couldn't wait. The moment I saw Amy doing another accordion book, I was like, oh, what can I do with my papers? Because I'm not in the mood to make another full journal. I so don't want to make another journal. I've done a lot of journals this year. I'm really shocked. Did the botanical, the hero, 2 fall, the Christmas, and I have my December daily already made last year for this year, and who knows what I want to add or adhere to that. And my next project with you guys is actually a little bit of taking my Christmas joy papers and decorating a happy planner holiday journal. So that's the next thing you guys will get to see. If it all goes well, that'll be next week's journal with me, as we get ready for the holidays. Because in November, some people do a lot of planning in November for Christmas. I try. I don't. Most of the time, I hit November and then I hit Thanksgiving, and then I get to Christmas, which is always the last minute for shopping. Never a good idea. But that's me. Otherwise, I would stockpile so much I'd forget, and I would spend so much money on my girls because I would go crazy. I'm really trying this year to go out like just a couple times, grab everything I want all at once, and then be done with it. Instead of being out every time I turn around, buy something else, and I totally forget what's going on. So, yeah, there it is, guys. We did a little accordion flip book with the journal cards, right? And you can flip it either way, which is super cute. And I'll have to decide now that I've talked to you guys, but I think I'll add the little side pockets, and we'll add the rest of the journals in there. So we could use it to journal if we really wanted to. And the fun part, the way this stands, when I first did it, it would flatten out because these tabs are so heavy. Now that I've got the cards in it, the cards actually sort of keep it upright. And so on your table or your desk, it does sort of just sit here. The covers don't touch the bottom, which is really funny. The cards do. But I love it. I think it's super cute because I could just open it and sort of like, oh, let me look at it. So I think it's going to be a great decoration, whether it be on my desk or somewhere in the house. The girls will love, I know my littlest one, will love just flipping through it constantly. She thought it was adorable. So there we go. We have another way to use my papers, not quite in its traditional manner, but you can make little journals out of my cards, like fold them down to where you just have about maybe less than 3 inches left. But I did it to where it was a 4-inch. Yeah, you leave about 3 inches off, so you go you fold it in half at the 4-inch mark on the horizontal side. You know, fold it back to about 4 inches, because all of my pages, you know me, I go on the corners, right? So like this one, if you folded it back to just probably here, right, about where the candle was, because you don't want to lose this, that leaves you a beautiful strip to use. You could fussy cut this out, you could fold this in half, use it as a huge belly band later. You could fold this in. This would be in the bottom corner, you know, this would be the front of your little journal flap, you know, and then just fill it with papers like this one. You know, you could fill it with the cream paper I have and make another journal card. So this would be super cute. And this would be on the bottom back, but that's fine. That'd be sort of cute. So every one of my corners probably has potential to be folded back and making these cute little journal flaps, right? I could just see making a bunch of these. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. So there's another way to use it, to make it more of a horizontal little single flap journal card. Or take any of my plain papers or my pattern papers, again, fold it vertically, and do the measurements. And I'll put the measurements in the description box down below, just in case, of where we do the scoring. So, you know, front side this, back side these. And I know it's in pencil, so I'm assuming you're getting a glare. But I'll put that in the description. Also, go look at Amy at Crafty Cat. I want to say last Thursday or Friday, she was doing this. So, or doing her accordion, snowman accordion. So you can look at that too. And I don't know how long it's been since anybody else has done them. I know I got the idea late or early in the year to do the heroes one. So if you typed in accordion journals with Gail or Amy, you may be able to find some more items if you want better measurements or another set of measurements. But I will leave that in the description below. I really appreciate you joining along. Here's all the fussy cuts that I cut out. You know, so I hope to keep going and keep making more things. I'll keep you posted as I go along if I come up with new ideas and fun. But the next journal, I think the next thing we're going to do is using the Christmas Joy kit in a new way. Again, using the papers, cutting them to make them fit what we want. And we're going to be working on a planner, a holiday planner. And this is more in the range of the happy planners that are out there, the Hobonichis, there's bullet journaling, all that fun stuff. So I went ahead and started that from one of my happy planner designers. She did all the printed pages. And I'm gonna decorate some more on the tabs, and using my Christmas Joy ordeals. See, I used my papers. I made pockets. So I can't get to it right now. Anyway, I used my papers and whatnot to enhance what she had. And I think we're going to continue on and add to this lovely little planner for the holidays. And I'm going to walk you through that. There's a quick 12 days of Christmas kindness pocket idea this lady had. And Stephanie over at Square Plans. And so we're going to do our rendition of it, I think, on one of the tabs. So that is next week. If it interests you, come join me. If not, I'll probably see you the following week. And there's even the potential of a pink shabby journal kit. I'm working on some papers to see what it does. I don't know. It's going to be more winter than Christmas. It may have just a hint of Christmas decor in the sense of my, what's the word? Using the garland and using the candles maybe, and some of the antique versions that are in the creams, since shabby vintage is shabby is very pink and vintage and creams and whites and stuff like that. So I couldn't sleep the other night, and that was on my mind, and so I started playing with that a couple days ago, but I haven't got a chance to get back to it. So thank you very much for joining me in a new way, playing with the Cozy Winter Kit, a little something fun, and I really appreciate you coming in. I'd take a look again at Lorette's views. If you're still looking for a Christmas journal that you don't have time to make, I have one still in the shop. She has a wonderful flip through of that. I have a flip through for it. I will put my flip through of the Christmas journal here in the tags, or in the end here. I will flip us back through to the look, right now I'm either going to pop something up, and I'm going to have you go back to the Christmas flip-through journal. You can go see Lorette Chandler and her flip-through, plus she is working on a number of my things. She's got a DT of the little Charles Dickens inspired journal cards that I have up for sale. She's making a cute, what does she call it? A memorabilia flip-out thing. So she has a beautifully worded, but she's working on that right now. She has plenty of things going on. So, okay, ladies, I'm rambling at this point. So I love you all. Thank you for joining, subscribing, liking, commenting. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you all very soon. Have a great day.